Well, joining me here in the studio now to talk more about all this is Helin Sari Ertem, an Associate Professor of International Relations at Istanbul Medeniyet University. Welcome. So let me ask you, first of all, the SDF, what does the future hold for them? Will they essentially dissolve? I mean, we heard there that the choice that they face, will they try to regroup in some other form? What do you think is going to happen?
My expectation actually is that they are going to dissolve, but these processes are very difficult processes, as we know from all other conflict zones, because there might be disagreements, there might be some groups who want to continue in the same way, so there will be a kind of a fragile moment ahead of us. So the most important point, especially for the central government, is to what extent they will be able to control this, let's say, whether this is a dissolution period or not, but the most important thing is to be able to control this process for the future, especially.
That gets to my next question then. Is the government in Damascus equipped to do not only that, but also take on the job of taking over and securing these prisons?
Well, it's most important part, I guess, regarding the Daesh prisoners, especially because the biggest excuse of YPG, especially regarding its relationship with the United States, was the existence, the presence of the Daesh prisoners or the Daesh threat in general. The biggest or the delicate moment is actually about to control these prisoners. I guess it will be in northern Iraq especially, and to take this control away from the YPG and give it to the central government and to the northern Iraqi authorities. And it is also about taking this excuse from the hands of YPG to be able to control, or let's say continue its relationship with the United States. The relationship between United States and YPG was a kind of surrogate relationship, let's say. We were talking, and I was writing about surrogate warfare in northern part of Syria. And in this type of relationship, we have a patron state and we have a client group or organization like YPG. And this relationship is cut now. And it's very important to see whether YPG will be acting against the interests of the United States, which is something that I do not expect, but according to normal procedure, let's say, regarding the relationship between patron and the client, we expect that this solution of the YPG group and SDF in general.
And how do you see Turkey's role here? Presumably they will be keeping a close eye on all of this.
Well, the security of Syria is the security of Turkey. This is the most important point that we should underline. For that reason, Turkey will be involved, and hopefully indirectly, let's say, not in a military term, but if necessary, this might be the future that we expect. So there might be a kind of military intervention as well, but this is the last option. So the biggest, let's say, point that we expect from Turkey is to stabilize the region, to be a kind of balancing actor in the region, and to give the full authority, especially to the central government, Al-Shara government, so that they can establish their unified state.
What's the potential for the way this plays out? I mean, in terms of worst case scenario, do you think Turkey may be forced to intervene more directly?
Well, if Turkey's national security is under threat, for sure Turkey might be, let's say, or will be acting in a military term. But this is the last option, as I underlined. So the role that Turkey is playing at the moment is to somehow mediate between the United States, the central government, and in some cases YPG as well, and northern Iraqi authorities as well, to find a kind of compromise in between all these different actors. And we have other great powers as well included in the Syrian scenario, future scenario. For that reason, I expect Turkey to act in a way that a rising middle power is acting in the region. And rising middle powers like Turkey are the stabilizers and balancers of the region and the system as well.
Good to get your analysis. Helin Sari Ertem, thanks very much.